Young penny for who baby say, if you are seeing her, will be ma, will be check. Why not HL? So we'll pay IT, who they won ye, so we'll pay support. Slam Technology say your number one partner. Your office will US in ye, your office will Ghana, so ye, your numbers ni good. So we should share IT classes, we will career coaching, we will support for business cybersecurity. Friend, na your partner. Yaba see wow. Slam Technologies, transformation with excellence. Phrases, ya baby biarao,
Living in Ghana, abroad, a first-timer visiting Ghana, or a company wondering where to get quality service providers in Ghana for any job, then Ejumapa On Demand Services is here to assist you. Ejumapa On Demand Services connect requesters and service providers such as masons, plumbers, electricians, auto repairers, home and office cleaners, trash collectors, rent agents, spa attendants, roofers, beauticians, teachers, CCTV installers, and all artisans on one platform. Yes, one platform. Trust Ejumapa On Demand Services to sort you out any day, anywhere, and at any time. To download the app, please visit the App Store and Play Store or visit our website www.ejumapa.com.
All right, ebusia for more about SVTV Africa, so share live on SVTV Africa. Hope so. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, share YouTube channel. So I'm more about SVTV Africa. So if I'm DJ Nyame, and then only Fridays be a minute lawyer wisdom account. Last week, into me and yet Mufanche, but yaba it's a seminal dorsum into making sure say more UK while planning so be UK or Ghana. And answer UK. Unu bi wo UK share link ne ma no na tie de ekọ na UK de debia no omudi bibi fufroba. U read the caption na matter day Matade. Hey. Mo UK me say Matade share link ne ma obi na ontie. U question bi opese obisa lawyer so a na we bisa debia me ka che mo say inkrofo we mo no almost tight on bodies. Oh, they be a cat there, show mo. And yamo ye. Matadeo, into also ha, and your panic. No one started look sharp. Me the end catch look sharp fast. You can come on the Bible, you ain't gonna many lawyer wisdom macao, and me didn't come on. Lawyer!
DJ,
Where's all?
Yo, F1.
Eh, my phone, how F1?
My phone.
Today broadcasting live from Studio B.
Yes, sir.
Live from Studio B. Studio B for Obia.
Yeah, we're good here. I hope you're all good. Yeah, everybody's cool here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Yeah. You got dollars now, eh? I got more dollars, man.
I got some few though, man.
Lawyer, and now about yeah, channel. I'm say last week into me and because me name the bias. I want to apologize. I'm on my end. Yeah, tahasi. But 1-2-1-2 from our side. Me person me the show con. Yeah. Free SVTV Africa. Say the show con. You said they didn't remember last week.
Yo, I didn't even say here for say say. Apologies. Last week, yeah, to me now because now, yeah, me cross the pond, from one end of the pond to another end of the pond. Now me figure stammer, echo Donald Trump, the crew and my travel schedules, and to me, I'm working out here. And now, two quanka crowns, I will share not jet lag, kakra, because of the time difference in and general last week, the brain shifted a bit, but apologies. And they didn't have a shame. Me, sure last week they didn't have a shame. We move forward.
Okay, lawyer, someone fan channel last week went to me and but this week and now a question be up as a ubisana. Comment section no what type kama any short fatu time in a minute do I mean better screen so now where you are. But lawyer, I'm sure caption now. Uncle for no de bia mo de bibiba o. So uncle for de bia na bibia be boom bibia bibia mo pani we samis no ma pame afi o mu kromo. De bia mo de bibiba. Sisi ade na ekọ. Omo si den sisi ID ben den biom na mandatory na den. Mi won say mo prime minister na ka bibi. Ade na ekọ so.
DJ made us when him say yeah the catch him say any written constitution. And you in the eco parliament and what to 10 majority in this and David. Yes, sorry, no panel in the eco so and why you bet me as a summer anytime. Say, Shaz, I'm no panel and why and you bet me as a summer. Say, Shaz, that of next week, and also send the eco and co year. You go back to parliament, you vote here. That's it. I don't say, oh, sure. Immigration, I hear topical issue in every country. They say, yeah, we can. Yeah, DJ, you are like a prophet. Who can set these days immigration across the world, everywhere. Immigration, I hear issue. In Germany, Portugal, Spain, Italy, everywhere.
Mr. Secretary, me say beba more cry. And you say, well, me ade abi hu no. Nkofo we mu no. Me say enye ye man ni Africa. Who say leaders no so ma start hu ba. Nkofo e omo ye no. Me say lawyer, ebia me say e kan the twin. Me say bedu baby no. Omo start attack o so hu fi kroma ko hu ti wo ye den wa. Omo abrofo no be ye one on one, omo hia o me dia de omo ye o no.
Oh, it happened in certain places. It happened in places. Only the laws don't allow it.
Brony ko no afa say work ye den kra na umfri ho. Ukro mu book den kra umfri ho.
Yeah.
Omo ye protest a untimi nkokan ubi atuntum ni. O protest omo ye omo from omo do so bebre wo UK street isu yi wo tuntum ni bi wo. Onso so sa u claim so free ho. Umfri ho.
Oh yeah. What did you be catching me last time? Or say you can be British, but you are not English.
And
Sana Obi Ekaye. Tell me say you can be British, but you are not English. In other words, I'm wouldn't chichemu I'm going to say you are no. I want to unya henny. Even though some run over are protect you now, British passports, you have the rights now. But even amongst themselves, no, I'm going to make a show say you can be British, but you are not English. For Obi, so we can say nature near I want it no, totally different from near actual our papers. And see, when it comes to immigration, a problem everywhere, particularly in these two big countries, America and the UK. Now, Oshasania, small boats, no, heading for air back from across everywhere, Libya, from Eritrea, from everywhere. The number of Crawford are mobile with these small boats, almost see people smugglers, maybe on mobile. I'm the Prime Minister, no one, or who's any other tackle again. And to share only French for according to some agreement, one in, one out, and one out, one in, that sort of thing. But still, no, he's not getting a handle of the whole problem, the whole issue. And to wait and run and the neck for the ambassador be a digital ID proposal, a digital ID. In short, from where a British card, British card. What is it? A idea Prime Minister an episode or the but Obia UK work crowd time. Ubenya a digital identity. Obia. We are British, who are indefinite, who are 2.5, who are limited leave to remain as a discretionary leave holder. We are asylum seeker. Obia I war UK no.
Microphone no do be na confused. Inti mo passport, mo resident card, mo NI ni sa nyama ni nya ho eden. And esa kokofa digital ID.
Very good. And that is the argument that will be everybody said. Your passport, but remember, so you'll be and our passport. If you are British citizens, but I'm only passport. Just so 2 point or I can passport. To send your Ghana for be Ghanaians, I'm only Ghana passport. To say unless or 2 point. The same way there are British citizens born white or black or colored or racial, multi-racial citizen, only passport unless or but way with the digital ID now, Mokano, or passport, only passport, only driving license, or driving license, or residence card, and a biometric card. So say the motor no obia benya the digital ID. I know dear, I just say one hop obia information about. Now, what is the purpose? The purpose, another aim is said to verify a person's right to be in the UK. And so pay Juma, you better check it. It has to be on your app, your phone, and yet the old type of phone, but it has to be on your phone. And now there has to be an app. And with that, as I said, you can prove to an employer say I am me any kojo me juma. And it say what the app no and now proving maybe e-visa. In part it is e-visa. So show na ehun say near nim eba so no enye wo a straight away enye ade a okwakoye juma. Enra me check him obi oba na me EU indefinite leave application amano. Me call system no so no. Na me pay share code e di amano na o di amani landlord. Obroni nim na eba ha me ID no me we no so no. Na me say hey, na sister, never know that to broni na yedi but pure white lady onye nipa no. And also on ones who are checked, but on the one say a generic, and I'm saying David, a generic, a be ID mistakenly in the other 2 wood so into call a country juma, and I will took when I will back near check here. I'm also saying it can disturb you, and as I said, almost the son. That is what they want to do. The digital ID is going to be called Brit card to verify a person's right to be in the UK. Who are sitting as over in the UK and yes, it will show. Who are sitting as over rented dine? Yes, it will show. Who are sitting as over to me and your driving license? Yes, it will show. Who are sitting as over with a bank account? Yes, it will show. Also, when I different, but all person will be here to one source. Driving license for Mudia, passport for Mudia, employers for Mudia, home office for Mudia, but they want to put everything in one basket. And the employer bet me for check your home, landlord bet me for check your home, DVL bet me check your home, and they can all check from one source. And that is the objective of the Brit card now, young Prime Minister proposing. So to check if a person is in the UK legally to work, to live, to rent in the UK, to drive, etc. Almost it will simplify the right to work, the right to drive, the right to live in the UK, and it will reduce fraud. Kofi entimen fa yaw niama emfa nkoye juma because so ko na check here wo se wo ye Kofi ye hwe wanem na ye hwe ID any info picture na eba we ni so a enye wo a enti wontime enkonkoye juma almost say ebe free of charge. But the concern are ebinum e want to say, how can we be sure that your data is going to be kept safe? How can we be sure, sir, your data will be kept safe? How can we be sure, sir, all the information you are provided will be entered accurately? To say they making will be picture, according will be details. So how can they ensure that it is accurate? How can they make sure that the system is not compromised or hacking, etc., or it will go into third-party hands to create or for fraudsters to use this? That is the concern some people are having. But I must say, with the Brit card or the digital ID, it will simplify for employers, for banks, for landlords, to check a person's ID. It will be simple for public services also to check if a person is eligible for other benefits, etc., etc. So that is what they say is the advantage. But if you go to the disadvantage, we have got privacy concerns. I to say your whole life is going to be monitored, and somebody is going to be big brother is going to be monitoring your whole movement, your whole life. You're everywhere you are, your life is being monitored. Everywhere, every place, every time, every day, it's like you're being monitored. Just as, of course, the CCTVs are in town to monitor people's movements and everything, people's actions and everything. That is the kind of big society, big brother society people are arguing that this is going to create. But as a matter of fact, movements are already being watched anyway. From the moment you step out of your house to the train station to your work, back, your movements are all being watched anyway. But when they want to put everything in one hole. Now, the problem is another disadvantage which is being argued is not everyone has smartphone, and not everyone knows how to use this smartphone. Even if they do have it, the old people, the uneducated, are very then access away. But for me, I think that is a very weak argument, because the government, once they've made up their mind to do this, they will expect that if you don't have a smartphone, you must have it. In a way that they can easily say a voluntary, but a voluntary, not a compulsory my landlord, say or share, and a compulsory my employer, say one son or more or less, it's become voluntary, become mandatory or compulsory for you to have it. Otherwise, you can't get a job. So indirectly, yes, it may be voluntary to start with, but ultimately, a very compulsory, because if you don't have it, the landlord cannot check it, your employer cannot check it, etc., etc. You will not be able to get access to these things. So that is what it is. So it's also argued that it may lead to control and oversight of your life. Everything, every day, everywhere you go, you are being controlled, you are being monitored. That is another argument. And also another argument, which I've already mentioned, is going to be target for hacking, and people's personal information will be exposed. Now, and also another argument is, even if it seems to be voluntary, involuntarily it will become mandatory, because if you don't have it, you cannot access certain facilities in the UK. So, UK 4 near Erba Biominise, there's an argument in terms of digital ID. Digital ID. Prime Minister can or say it is to tackle the small boat people who are working in the economy, who come to seek asylum, and then they get into the system to work, which is making they are cutting down, or they are making people pay cheaper, employers pay less than they're supposed to pay, and it is affecting the economy. That is some of the argument, but that's a matter of fact. It is going to be ultimately to check who is to be in the UK legally and who is not here legally, who can rent, who can work, who can live in the UK. UK, the laws are changing, and they keep changing very fast. And let's all see, let's wait and see how it's going to be implemented. I know some political parties are against it, but let's wait and see how it will work. So, DJ, Usha, that is where we are today. But there is something more serious. But
Mama, what you ask, I said, okay, now say Mr. T make his statement to be. My name is follow ya, or catch Europeans in the same. Sadi, your mind being quite chilly. Or catch Europeans in the same. Oh, my jaw, Momo, and the aliens, I be real. That statement, no kind. We are tuntumni adwin. Just say, on no, my jaw, Mukrono. I'm aliens, I be real. I'm finding ways and means. So about my and say, unim the honest so I be catch them paying for no. Our master is more than nyama as IDB ni nyama biba. Ways and means no. I'm ways and means. Minka say entam but wo ha drink ko echiri kakra na ye bibi wo from. Eno na me meka. Transa bi a ho ne ye we betimi atena oba so dwen wo krom. Ba bi mu wo ho a me nkrofo no bi. Nkrofo no bi beti no mo kasa na ayese ho ye wo krom. Oh master, I onye wo krom. Nti je wa nkofo yi. Fa wo kra say omo mema odoku. Ba later omo besa twist nyama kakra bi kra omo besa de yi we free ho. And fa kra. Yes, ana mimi hunu di wa nyama omo ko omo yi omo nyama yi. Omo na omo ko omo aka omo abom omo ye trikisi yenso o hobia start look sharp and sana omo so omo because the omo di be me de me Ghana na me te ma mimi hunu say omo mra na omo so omo ba card mu o sa wo sa nyama we nya wo passport wo driver's license wo we dey say kwa fa mandatory ID. Hey, she said, I said, am I confused? Then I'm confused. I'm sorry, I'm not the Bibiaba. I'm the Bibiaba. I'm not the Bibiaba. I'm the waste of means to fact. Anyway, lawyer, you know how.
Mami Uko UK. Also, we have two main parties, Labour and Conservatives. Now, so Usha, you got Pobia a buyer and and there. There is another party, Reform UK. Our leader, Nigel Farage. Or the proposals be aired to us or no. Obey Prime Minister near Obey ni. Usha Pona Abana, ye two about a neck and not ochna, or no anybody Prime Minister. Or no say, or be abolish it, indefinite leave to remain. My name is Awatia. I said he would abolish indefinite leave to remain.
Mate.
I said almost more indefinite leave to remain. Or become like she akoji if you want to
Mate me
yes. I said, sir, indefinite now. I've been through 5 years. I've been through 10 years. And now discretionary leave no. Or be abolish it. Saying people who already have indefinite leave to replace it with another type of leave, which is 5 years, renewable every 5 years. It just said, so no be a prime minister, but now UK forever. Unya sit now forever. Unya sit now indefinite. Every 5 years, and so could just kind of renew. Every 5 years, so just kind of go. Or no? And then the proposal. The proposal number 2 says, or no, every prime minister, that is Nigel Farage, or say higher threshold, stricter criteria. Also, Sikaya, you see 29,000 from 18,600, I got 29,000 pounds. Any employers, this health and care for, I got 41,000 pounds from 30 something. Or see on any stricter. Every say, or to the sense, so we have to mean any side, the kind of infant engage more. That is Nigel Farage. That is his proposal. Or young prime minister, but or can't and say, so Obadua, so Oba, Sadiwe. Ena obabe what indefinite numpono or what you do so
signal says who indefinite say by now started working to say so you say starting them yes I will train because on some kind of like I dream be a dome trim say I did be on person mo here nti and na make us mun look sharp no but bi wo ha obetimi akọji o but sika no obetua nti no otwetwe no saa otwetwe no so metimi de tukwan aba Ghana tena o ye betwem we betwem nti so metimi age o citizenship na ye ward na start say wo kwa akọji say bedu bebi no saa indefinite o ma start ma mo signal yi mo ha one day almost some de na yes some that story adwin ne ba na ye cross na lawyer kan no mutimi say some mra anytime
and no there just Farage eba so Farage amba omo abolish it but Farage say ono ba nti ne ono kan no na me kan me nka se obeba ana omma but osise ono ba sa na obeye number 2
ba me bo before obeka no ohun say so bi opposition no ka bibia waka o say ni no obeye o ba o de ato om trim ade bi a waka plan nti obi atifa
Let us say, once our Obi lost you to it. Who are you are a weak government or you are weak in opposition. And two person you be say you are tough. Not a quite perfect.
Okay, lawyer to associate you.
And here one, or say, or abolish indefinite leave to remain. Two, or say currently, migrants can apply for permanent residence in the UK after 5 years or 10 years, depending on the route on which they are. Or say even for people who already have it and replace it with a visa system that must be renewed every 5 years. That is Niger Farage for you. Then number two, or say higher immigration thresholds, stricter criteria. New visa rules will include higher salary thresholds, stronger English skills, and tighter restrictions on family members and dependents. In other words, or see about 29,000 yeah soon say you've been to me from urine and I'm or see already tighter or very more difficult. The next one is prevent access to benefits. Young mama no young papa no more benefit no or see or prevent people from taking benefits. Under his proposal, visa holders will be excluded from claiming welfare benefits or social housing to limit what he sees as a state burden. Or see, the UK is not the food, the food basket. The UK is not the bread basket for everybody. And say, oh no, or limit the people's access to benefit. And Tiensha and also so. Or say, freeze non-essential immigration. Non-essential immigration. He proposes to freeze on non-essential immigration, those not meeting certain skilled needs. Essential skills, notably healthcare, might be exceptions. Well, healthcare may be an exemption, but other skills, ABR, charity, he may close the charity route. This seasonal workers, those who come to pick fruits and stuff, he may freeze it. Butchers, he may freeze it. And yet essential, he's going to freeze it. And yet essential, he's going to freeze it. So that is also something he has said. As a stricter enforcement for illegal arrivals seeking asylum. This includes deporting those who arrive illegally, example, small boats, removing access or legal aid, increasing detention capacity, working deals with other countries for returns, leaving or altering treaties like the European Convention on Human Rights to reduce constraints on deportation if necessary. So Nigel Farage, or say, or bar, these are some of the things that Obabe. Minimsa Chronomo aye, gidi. A month for air kasa, people are concerned. Hey, na papa way bar, a day, ena, yebeye. Yen kasa, yenka recently, on one, or yeah, campaign, say Brexit, yen fimo, UK is spending so much amount on the EU. Yen fimo, ena, bebreji tumu, eni ye vote here, ena UK fi EU no. So say na ye effect. And to say about now, nasa again, ye can be a na ye jia to one, and I mind signals, na young free, na about 2 young. We shouldn't complain because thankfully, one chi and Trinity, he hasn't kept it in his mind. He has told us that this is what he will do. And based on the YouGov poll, set election and net announced now or not and the prime minister. And to say, oh, UK ha, oh, indefinite, oh, change when I say, citizenship, you are qualified to get it, but undia, Mr. Say Abeya, say Nadia, who politician, Ghana, and Abibia, and America say, please work on getting your British citizenship. And not yet want to make cassette or G everyone some, but say one yet, not say, what not say, eventually, say, Oba, say Oba, a possible so with me about. A possible pounds of it never because all share send your name a crossing honor, a crossing different places. No, Omo pe omo ankasa omo nipa omo say oye tough. Wan hwe na so oba ne waka no o se obeye. Enti yen hwe so na yen so to send a DJ kind no. You look sharp. If you have something to do it now. To say you see digital ID. Farage also said revocation of indefinite leave, cancelling of benefits, making financial requirements stricter, counseling non-essential visas. Difficulties will be in the system. And it's a would me, and you have the right or you are qualified to again apply for citizenship. My advice is please do it now. Men train money yet too late, and then we turn around to complain. Unfortunately, we are very good at complaining. So we don't. You train, say we are, then we complain. Dear now, but me I say we are eligible for citizenship. Please go for it now. At least where be for whole situation at home. Me ain't trying not and very difficult. So we're in a relationship. Who person worry we you know who know. I sika which is saying 29,000. Who person we odine ba yen in term funny bra and sana and society be about because society about it will affect everybody. Send ya all kasa say or in retrospective no possible say oba na se bibi sa esia about affecting the public brain. So we share they say labor is in terms of polling no or nya papa conservatives no so because of nipa na or leader no so and also they have some issues there. Nigel Farage reform UK a honor strength na call and so we be here in term na amfa or how be a ambro DJ, that is where we are. That is where we find ourselves. What can we do about it? It's a question for all of us. With us.
All right, and a lawyer can share live on SVTV Africa. I'm a lawyer Wisdom Macau. You can come on here the updates a free UK and or the brain, you know. Say lawyer, so we ready and I'm in share comment section. But before for us, I think say last week now can be say say touch on one or two things.
Yes.
So okay.
My a brief now. I'm taking questions. DJ.
Okay.
Now, last week now, me person because about the trend air cost from observation near air cost no about young crop for the bebre. Ayana omwako free home office. Ana ebi email home office. Ana omutro home office. Say me kuno na menene baye no. Ana me yiri na menene baye no. Menene nti hobio. Enye say ya divorcing po. Menene no enti hobio. Based on that, na home office. Say amber council was it now. And the question is adenti and I am called for be a yet sir adiana. Adentina I'm reporting to the home office. Why do people report to the home office that their relationship is broken or they are no longer in a relationship? Now home office, HR, partners as it number. Why? A idea in our community, unfortunately, a idea recently, of recent times, near number of complaints are about me ho. So me reporting me home office actually me crack no more 60 days. It's a lot. And then I make us say me a call as such. Say Obano I can report it to the home office on an interview. Home office a money 60 days to sometime in November. Say on fi krom and call. And now on a different application. Why is this happening? Why is it happening amongst ourselves? Why? Number one, sometimes so Obano ni obema ni ba, ebi Obano wo krom or a British. And now quite indefinite. And now you name our cross settlement. And now cross pre-settled status. Wakofa Obama naba. And now Obama Wakofa Obama. Expectations not a one. Obama ne bedu and Obama bedu no. Expectations are not being met. And Because the expectations are not being met, now I can report to home office say relationship no, and new hope you. Now home office a channel signal. What are some of the expectations? Ọbaa bi ka kyerɛ me sɛ ɔde ɔbɛrima ne baa sɛ ɔbɛboa no ama ɔmahwɛ ɔmo mma, but papa no ɔnya time ɛmma no tio ɔnya time ɛmma no ɔse papa no yɛ adwuma dodo wodwe hɔ a wonti aseɛ ebi nso sɛ ɔnyɛ adwuma obi nso gyaa ne deɛ because ɔyɛ adwuma dodo nti wohwɛ a he doesn't balance, he doesn't add up, but ɔno nso ne reason is that the man is always working. He doesn't have time for them. He doesn't have time for her. He doesn't have time for the children. And don't say, what call report to the home office, a relationship no is broken down. Home office a man is 60 days. Say unpacking in their mind. And now on yet another application. And no one, expectations not being met. 2, emotional or personal reasons. A be cheating. So by man buy no, they be only a buffer from our line is so. Mi wɔ fie a na wafrɛ obi wɔ Ghana na ɔne ɔbaa no wɔ line so ɔho sɛ meba pɛ na wakate kɔɔ no megye di paa sɛ ɔne ɔbarima bi ɔne ɔbaa foforɔ bi ahyehyɛ hɔ wɔ Ghana wanka nkyerɛ me wabɛdu ha no sɛnea ɔkasa no mehu sɛ deebi ɛnyɛ sɛ ɔdɔ me nti na ɔbaeɛ but ɔpɛ sɛ ɔba aburokyire no ɛno nti na ɔbaeɛ ɛno nti me ne no ɛntumi ntena biom na wakɔ report to the home office sɛ the relationship is broken down. The other one is abuse. Abuse. Either ɔbaa no abuse ɔbɛrima no nti ɔbɛrima no akɔ report it because ɔno ɛna ɔbɛjoin ɔbaa no anaa ɔbɛrima no report abuse ɔbaa no a ɔno ɔde ɔbɛrima no baeɛ no ɔsɛ ɔbɛrima no abuse no nti na ɔno akɔ report it to the police and then the police to the home office na say papa na ɔbaa bɛka ɔbaa no anaa ɔbaa na ɔbɛka ɔbɛrima no ɔmpake nneɛma na ɔnkɔ. So disputes, cheating, abuse, serious disputes are some of the reasons. Ebi nso yɛ sɛ mɛhyɛw ne papa mɛhyɛw ne sɛ me na mede ne baeɛ nti mɛma home office for de n'akɔ mɛ report no na ayɛ dɛn. And sometimes it's revenge. They just want the other party's visa to be cancelled and then removed from the UK. And in some occasions, a person does report to the Home Office to punish the other partner following a breakup. Relationship not breakup, make sure as not punish you. No my Home Office eduarco. That is sometimes the reason for these things. Money. Financial reasons. Ɔbaa no say, papa no, ɔno ɔyɛ adwuma papa no sɛ ɔmfa sika no nyinaa ma no. Anaa ɔbaa no na ɛwɔ British citizenship, anaa ɔno na ɛwɔ indefinite. Papa yi nso aba, ɔno nso abusuafoɔ wɔ Ghana. Nanso maame no sɛ ɔyɛ adwuma a ɔmfa sika no nyinaa hyɛ ɔno ne nsam, ɔno na ɛbɛ disperse biribiara. Papa no nso sɛ deebi, yɛnyɛ ne saa. Me kurom no, yɛnyɛ ne saa. Me nteteɛ mu no, yɛnyɛ ne saa. Meyɛ ɔbarima, meyɛ family. By all means, as I mentioned, my family, not NTSC and Yejuma. Based on that, not relationship breakdown. Mama say, oh, sir, okay, any ever no, after home office. So because NTSC and Yejuma, relationship not breaking, won't try to be some more, won't find any call. Unfortunately, the home office will write to you and give you 60 days to either switch or to leave the UK. That is what also happens. Financial. Another one is feeling exploited. Feeling exploited. Some partners believe they are used for immigration purposes. They say they make kind of abolition or person or banning or buy, and yes or dome, and yes or person mitra, or person of abolition or buy. They say they were banning my only true colors, make permission, make home office, a bit shiny visa no more, make shiny say, men are made in buy. Now, then, they are co-reported. The Ghanaian community is experiencing too many of these days. Too many. And a lot of times, not complaints no about as to what should we do. Safety concerns, domestic abuse, physical, emotional, psychological, sexual abuse, safety or safeguarding of children's concerns. Ningwhy is some of the reasons in here a binomu to make a report to the Home Office. Set relationship no, I break it down. You for waba papa no say won't support me and intermediate me fi krom ha me call back to EU country oni ha evidence ni ho say or krom ha time soon so be asit na onya ebia na wako report it say a relationship breakdown na they try asit na no. Health and care for skilled worker for construction workers COS for mienu aba omo papa as husband and wife should know themselves or each other. Omo too well. Omo do have you know say they be incompatibility. You're compatible. Ukra no na obi baka who nya me size and now nya me shape and then say bentimi waro no report it to Home Office say yen tibio. And now papa ne hejuma onu ye dependent onu ye juma. Now many of the men applicants want to ye juma or see papa ne support you. Papa say they be meant to support you. Or the other way round. Mama no dependent. Ono timi ye juma. Papa no the main applicant. Ono timi ye juma bebre. Or see mama no supporting. Mama say they be meant to support you. No papa no I reported to the Home Office for say relationship no I break it down. Near man 60 days. So why we are dependent no pack you near ma the fit ekroma neko. So these are some of the reasons why people do report to the Home Office. Set relationship breakdown. Now, once when you report it per Home Office, ever show the other party, no one man is 60 days. So either set or switch it to another route or set or your preparation. Now if you come here, not work up. So that is what happens. Now, so baby says here, what would you do? What should you do? So who and the waba a victim of domestic abuser. Wono, if you have the evidence, say nia wodi ubaye no ono mom na I abuse you put your evidence together, medical evidence, GP records, maybe report to Black Sisters, report to Respect, which is an organization that helps Black men or men who are suffering from domestic abuse. You have medical report, you have police reports. If you have this evidence, use that to counter nia nipa na culture Home Office for say wona or the relationship is broken down. So relationship is broken down. Also evidence is broken down because I am a victim of domestic abuse. I am a victim of domestic abuse. And this is my evidence. I call GP once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. This is the evidence. I reported to Black Sisters. This is the evidence. I reported to Respect. This is the evidence. I complained to the police. This is the evidence. If you rather produce your evidence to show that you have been a victim of domestic abuse. Relationship is broken down. If you have your evidence, use that to rebut near the Culture Home Office. The Home Office will consider it and possibly based on the evidence we want to challenge that accusation or that assertion. So, if you are a victim of anything of this sort, build your evidence. Without evidence, you have no legs to stand on. So, build your evidence if it is true that that is what you're going through. Build your evidence. Now, after they reported, the Home Office will review the decision and write to you to let you go. They'll give you notice to curtail your leave. Now, you have to make a fresh application or so. But what I'm saying is, if you have the evidence, please quickly put in an application or rebut what the other person is saying. So if you have a child that is a British citizen, we will now switch it from partner to parent application. As I said, Uma Inc. and call application. As I my ink compa, as Uma Home Office 40 years say, near wo te hone, woman one kasa, woman one complaining, or no mom, and our fight check, our report say relationship is broken down. And now, ya cancel was it now. So make them understand that you are the victim of domestic abuse. If you have a child, you can use the child if the child is a British citizen to apply. You can switch from partner to parent. Say obano ana obama say omawo enhu ubana bibi o hefeno child arrangement order. Obet me the court. The court will assess the case and make a decision you can see your child, and based on that, you'll be able to make an application based on your child, based on your child, based on your child. So with that, you will be able to you'll be able to stay in the UK. You'll be able to stay in the UK. You'll be able to stay in the UK if you have a child. Again, if you are a victim of domestic abuse, use that evidence to make an application to the Home Office. If you have a child and the child is 7 years old, not even a British citizen, you can use that to make an application. You can use your child, you can make an application based on your child as well. If your child is 10 years old, you can register the child as a British citizen, and of course, you can make your application based on your child. Or you can switch to a student route or skilled worker route if you meet the other requirements. So, DJ, these are some of the issues we are facing. Reporting. Mikunuma reporting. Remember reporting. Ebe you if you come out.
Ade a wo kan nyina na minim se no kre na yen tuntumfo ye Ghana fo ye patwi ni nti na e bia limit ne se yen Ghana fo ni bi but ade e koso nya ye tuntumfo na e koso sa ade
yeah
ye ada African Nigerians ada tuntumfo nko aye na e koso sa ade we be fa we ba be fa we akọ na we twa we atum na we na report we na say na bia pretend say obumi na ombumi enya ade wabu na obi esem bia aka kire openu fa hu die nti ope we say means obekeke be man out be man bi so ho a ya bo na bo nya doku ope we say means bi na no so no kredie die ni ho na ochiti ebi na report nti hu say Ukan what list be brain na how they always see ni nyina no kre but ukan no na ukan say into all reporting na ye den because the reporting na dosu report ufa phone na we afre if you see report in where you see we afre we go see we afre in case Ghana from Africans into for na ya ko sa ade o hu wo yin ni sa for ye jawa ye pa e wa bruchi the krend e back Chinese for no me can say dia Indians o mun jana ba ye de na doso me kan dodo na no ye jawa re and I say and home office for say last me no can bibi who share some videos that me no can say police ni bi back omo ye conference bi o say no can say adoso dodo some issues na report ye twa I don't know that can I see a try and crop for no trying especially man home office and let's say and they just say no kicking you out. It has a pilot police for no common reports na mom ko do be o ma bre. Omo timi pass away. Why you enye no kre. Omo timi say why you be ni baby ba why you be o baby ba. I say running to omo hu de o mbeka no.
Yes.
So iti ye ne ya ma dosu e ma ye nso ya dosu no ti so mu sa ka afunu mu bi sa nti esa mu so mu use the ye omo mra omo started the miamia nyama bi because complain dosu dodo e na edu oso a ye pekpakpakpa we means bi say ye pe we means bi e be biti omo system no na won so ka ye nyama no sisi am no ka me ni Aisha baba update Germany Sisi almost on my pass on Mumra, Amunima. Many I shall be Mamutifia, I see a Mamuskamuji benefit. Yabba for some way, Juma. May the update, Germany, may the Aisha by Yabba baby study. Some more Germany baby, but you can command by me, Mamu update into system now being to for the abusing a Kahubi. Oh, you was some short, and I will be play. We be na we ntina nya pick we anu agi benefit at didn't dey say yes I be good system tuntum for no ye kiki we ye kiki ye ho a ye report ye ho do konkon nua se kokonsa ne doso do bibi kakra kri bibi kakra kri ade bia wo say ehun hia but odi na kumachi no akọ report every day be a report police for no kra e bi ehun so ma break kra ye fit me from come to say case we cry
DJ, we share many many Obinya interaction some time ago.
Eh,
Our big care home. Big care home. Or to make sure abrofo and I mean people who have substance. Now we're catching sending clients need be crowd. There are people who own these race courses. They have they have horses, they have helicopters, they take their guests to those. I mean they are wealthy. Or say mpanyinfoɔ no aborɔfo mpanyinfoɔ the old ones wɔtumi kɔhwɛ ebinom a 80 years 85 years old man and the wife na wɔte fie in their house and they are living in peace in their own property. They don't have any problem. Now so obi bi ne nyanya council flat pɛ ɛnyɛ ne deɛ o council flat na wapam ne kunu efifie hɔ meanwhile council flat yi ɛnyɛ wo dea meanwhile aborɔfo yi ɛte their multi-million houses and they are living in peace nti ɔno no wɔnti aseɛ sɛ council flat a ɛnyɛ wo de wapam wo kunu efifie hɔ meanwhile aborɔfo no a ɔmo ankasa wɔn property ayɛ multi-million property pound properties no they are living in peace together. Also, on TSA, if I can tell her why that is the case, I couldn't give her an answer. You see, so some of the things it can be resolved. Sometimes, I'm paying for a community where we can ask them to see if we can get this. Some of the things are not necessary. Obi jawari, obabi jawari, and on kasa catch them say after our jam says and you went in the Ajaya, Sanka, I bet me I come and I you, Yantimianka, to say no, relationship is over. She told me, I said, this we could have resolved this problem. And yesterday, reporting, no, you're not and to share your money be brave, you could that prison, you could that into drugs, into because Papa Nifi, Mamin Kwan to me and handle the boys and stuff like that into. The reporting is a topic I have. Why do people report? Yes, there are reasons, but if it can be resolved, it should be resolved. Where there is domestic abuse, beating, and those ones, and idiot, we don't subscribe to any of those at all. It should not be the case. But if it can be resolved, please, let's resolve it. Now,
issue no. So many go break us out, and we can't be a issue no. Skinny bro, money, nko yeah, they no do money. And yet abuse ni eska abuse. Yeah, they money no do so. And ya po money I read lawyer, yeah, they yeah, what they need case I do so do. And then they cost be brain. Fine, abuse be a womb. And then there's some in my account has a my sister crying out also about bonnet. I remember twin if you are and I say munja put me about my sister. And then they mimi you by the end do one is sikasem both in memory in banning and TNT and one say communicate. No, I mean why I said that communication in yet communicate and yet papa because our area say begina no na kasa communication say ye kasa na bia maintain ho ase and I wait okay enti enye ne se dan no eno ne ye lack enti ase ba bi so wo ha communication ni no otie outsiders adwen omde ma no obi wo hon kwa ono na ware na nkoyie eno no so de wi a wo no kuti no kra na won ye wo so ni jai na obeka single life for no single madness ni ade nti Trump adwen fie omo adwen fi sa so wadwen mu an do no wan dwen we a wo so ba ko toni ni line media me enokra America menim say bebre ade America enokra wom ebi wo a ono ne de ankoyie no ono so mpasa wo de be koyie but come straight ma hu or the nkomo bi na nyam bi na excuses bi na dem be dada wo sa so wadwi mu an do a wo ba ko jaw kunu ena wo benya benefit say ena wo benya say ena dey be boa wo ena say ba du ko kire say esa wo du ko echi esa se be ma na nya bubi na obo a ye ndi abibi nya bubi na obo na oye bibi fa eye kasa oh ye be yes kasi o pamini o pamina e be twen kwala no nye adwuma e na e be ma o sika no kra hin e be ma o se ni at times say eni nti ja ukuru na wo hwe o mo kasa so bu ja wo say me kasa na wo ja no what bin kwala no say who as a mother no hwe kwala no from 8 abrochi 60 70 18 ho kona won't mean control mo dia o be kakra no yo e ye one bi no makasa muti until because ono no life no no so no be slow no until be dia o be kakra ntie but the parents mutu mo at least no sa father no the man some way mo jai crampo na ma so dey so you know all these cases mo jai mpo ma be pain as be man access say oh if you bet me weekend way anase obeba ho anase obekọ nkola no ba fa nkola no access no no mo so kasa ne ade those by there yetimi di akuma echi kra na etwem hey don't come near ni a report you say mu obi wo etimi ma 500 meters and 1,000 meters and they don't come close to the house 1,000 meters lawyer serious you be more distance from the house omo ben ho kra
yeah questions
lawyer kwa over no sansem wa mi ke lawyer nim say you just say bebrebu so but hard sometimes you know you have to say it. You can't just keep my interviews with you. I know a lot of these things. Some backdoor I know all these things. But when in this case my say a family. You say a family because of sika. We don't care for the kids. Anyway, lawyer wisdom account anangasano no until still for questions. You know what talk again. You know what talk again. No, but just screen for questions. Another picky call now.
Another program. We can take just 10 calls. 10. That's it.
My questions be or my own fans. My own questions be that camera. I want to say about the you phone baby Santi uncle. So I'm can we
I'll say with the abolishment of okay.
Maybe I say no na me be sample me you question this is na me see me be sample. Oh, I don't know they are skipping me. Lawyer, see I'm saying me question glass oh.
Okay, thank you, girls child. I'll say with the abolishment of the indefinite leave also affect EU citizens holding settled status. Well, Nigel Farage and cancer of abolish the indefinitely. When you're my and the Obansua and your idea on one funny pet now about or abolish it. And also political talk, as some of can out even any vote. I'm saying all can a be with them. But any idea of what me about if you are indefinitely now you cancel they be near or also kind of vote in all can. In any case, so Oba not obey poor. I'll say you for no. Mudia Mumra are very different. You are protected by the withdrawal agreement. And Tinya Dia with Nakasa ordinance, Eka EU for. And for the EU nationals and their family members who have indefinite leave under the EU rules, obviously, set or succeeded in abolishing the indefinite leave poor, EU nationals will be protected under the withdrawal agreement, so they shouldn't have too much of a problem. Okay? Kofi Apia. I'm applying for a visit visa for my mother-in-law. She's not working, and we will fully fund her travel. Please, any advice on what will be needed? What would be needed documents-wise? Okay, yes. Now, sir, we application for anybody to come to the UK as a visitor. The application has to be made under Appendix V. V for visit, V for Victor, Appendix V. Now, yes, what happens then is almost share Nipana urban situation. Not mostly, and I'm more situation. But about 90% of the weight lies on their organ. Sɛ ɔnyɛ adwuma a ɛdeɛ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔbaa ɔbɛsan akɔ ɔwɔ asset bi ɔwɔ family ties bi asɔre a ɔrekɔ what's the connection ɛdeɛ na ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɔbaa ɔbɛsan akɔ how old is she so financially mobɛtumi sponsor no so you need your pay slips your bank statements to show that you have enough funds to take care of her coming and going. 2. The tenancy agreement is very important. I just some more baby as a 3. Copy of your passports will be very important. Somewhere worried for then of course you see your mother-in-law, so you need your marriage certificate also as evidence that you're married to your wife's you are married to your the person who is coming's daughter, so your wife's mother. So you are married to your wife, and that is the mother. You need your wife's birth certificate to show that that's the mother you are applying for. Mommy all balance even here need bank statements, of course. So when you they expect to see her finance. And till your account in 1 hour, she has to produce her bank statement 6 months. Her passport copy. So what properties maybe houses, cars, etc. So you could use some of those documents to support the fact that she's okay back home. Any idea about her. You can also take a letter from Asori or so or you're prominent in the church, not or play some very important role. And also make the letter from the Asori Nakasel or a mouthful penny, and she said to counsel the young ladies here and there. That is the role she plays, and she's played that role for the past 15 years, and therefore any idea or 2 of Abetna Ekuma. So some of these documents can be used to support the application. Bank statement, pay slips, tenancy agreement, marriage certificate, birth certificate, copy of your passports, mom's bank statements, property, and everything else she has to support the application. Thank you. Peter 2014. If I have no recourse to public funds on my visa, can I do a free adult education by the council? Will it affect my indefinite leave to remain application? I don't think adult education fees or access to adult education comes under the definition of a benefit. I have to check it anyway. As long as it doesn't come under the definition of public funds, you should be able to have the free adult education. Please go to Google and enter public funds. What is public funds? It will list all the criteria of public funds or what constitutes public funds. As long as free adult education is not in that list, you should be fine to go for that study. Yes, go to Google and enter what is public fund or list of public funds. I remember the list. Roddy Ando. I have applied for my naturalization and it's been almost 4 months and I haven't heard anything. Should I be worried? Do I need to contact them? No, Roddy, don't contact them yet. It normally takes up to 6 months for a decision to be made on naturalization. A decision on naturalization application takes up to 6 months. So wait till 6 months. If after 6 months you haven't heard anything, then you can contact them to find out the update on the application, the progress on the application. Thank you. Kofi Kufo, please, if it's mandatory to use the new Brit card, what will be the use of British passport? That's a very good question, Mr. Kufo. Thank you for asking this very, very good question. Well, the Brit card is to show your identity. It's also to, that is if it comes into effect. It's to show your identity, to prove your right to live in the UK, to prove your right to rent, to prove your right to work, and other rights, possibly the right to open a bank account and the right to drive. It will show this status that you are eligible. It will show your status and the things you are eligible to. It will not necessarily be a passport for you or something you can travel with. So if you need to travel maybe to a country like in the Canada, US, Australia, or to any other country, you may need your British passport for the purposes of travel. So the Brit card will have its use, and the British passport will have its purpose as well. So that is what I think. Benny, I have just met a lady in the UK who came from Ghana on a student visa. She said she wouldn't be going to school, but she would like to work instead. Would this trigger any concerns to Home Office? Well, what will happen is the Home Office, the university would inform the Home Office that she hasn't registered, she hasn't reported, and she's not attending classes. And once that happens, the Home Office will curtail her leave. They will cancel her leave to be in the UK. So yes, if she has decided not to attend, the university would inform the Home Office ultimately, and the visa will be cancelled. So I would advise her, if she can, she should go to the uni. After that, they give you at least a year and a half to work in the UK. And whilst during that period, your circumstances do change, you are then able to switch into another category. Because if you don't go to school, it puts you in a very, very difficult situation. So please bear that in mind. Ado Jeff, please, are the EU passport holders part of this digital ID? Well, so far it's a proposal. It hasn't taken effect yet. The Prime Minister has proposed it. He said it. It hasn't gone to Parliament. It hasn't been passed. Nothing has happened yet. If it comes into effect, we will see the details. But I don't think the EU nationals will be subjected to revocation by Nigel Farage. But under the digital ID, I believe that they will be, because anybody who is in the UK who has settlement, I believe they would have that digital ID as well. So yes, I believe it will cover everybody who is in the UK legally.
All right, don't show me live. I'm in Lawyer Wisdom Akao on SBTV Africa. So you pick quick calls to be also not okay, set 10, but you just say bit man pick a quick one. Number in our screen is on the +23324067789. WhatsApp audio, WhatsApp call. Someone more number with the now. Oh, phone. So bet me after a question be able to be Lawyer Wisdom Akao. Bet me after number in our screen is on no. Say be pick a calls because also the call another program. Nti ubetimi afre WhatsApp number na wo screen so wo question bi obviously bisa na ubetimi afre quick one na mama we bisa Lawyer Wisdom Akao menim say bi mu wo ho a try say omo ye den omo abi mu omo ntenya obi na betimi type yes nti so untimi type na wo question bi obviously ubisa lawyer ubetimi afre mefa me who miss call bi sisi a wo frame me eba miss call a me throw back don't worry wo frame eba miss call a throw back. Hello.
Hello.
Me about lawyer ti o wa yenko.
Oh, did you mean you?
Oh, sorry. Taking it back. I'm sorry. You sorry. That's so tea. About you. What's up for you about them?
And the question is, I mean, now a kind of say, the second one. The second one will not pay slip for me. This is the money. Not maybe not a year. Let me, you should be maybe an one for the renew one. So when you pay slip for me, this is the name. A minimum letter and money. Let me see maybe a new one.
Okay, lawyer, when your question, no.
When your question, yes.
About your TNO, where you are, no.
Mepacho say when I woke up with a buyer or no or yejuma and our yejuma on your pay slips P60 and yet you would no every mano as long as you meet the financial threshold, either the 18,600 or the 29,000 pounds, whichever is applicable to Obama situation. Would no is enough. Would no is enough. So Obama in Kampua would no it's enough. But who hear me pan is set as a so when no at the same address. anti-gas, water, electricity, TV license, insurance documents, GP letter, driver license, bank statements. At the address, I would see the same address. It doesn't have to be joined. If it is joined, fine. But if it is not joined, but it's through the same address, is good enough. To share Sanyamano, Nepaka home with your pay slips, your bank statements, your pay 60, letter from your employer, what my application about one. Get the banana. Right.
Okay, it is all sure. Wait me a frame and then lawyer wisdom. I can na man no screen so no one show screen so no. And I make a say must remove service our number way. Anytime I make a program, I bear call in there and with me a fresh our number way. Nti me lawyer wisdom aka o I know nti call next program. Nti lawyer I'm interest screen so once I make train will be say okay, will be say lawyer can will be say.
So the BRIC card is basically like the US passport card. Um, we need to, friends, we need to wait for the details. We have to wait for the details. What is it going to be like? Is it going to be like because it will be on your phone. They say it's going to be an app. So it means it's going to be like the e-visa kind of thing, I believe. So let's wait to see. But I believe it's not going to be a physical card that you hold. That's why it's called digital ID. Digital ID. It's not going to be a physical card that you hold. I know the US one, you have the green card. That's a physical card that you hold. Or if you have a state US, if you have a state ID, it's also a physical card that you hold. But the UK one, e-visa is digital, it's online. And what they are proposing is going to be digital as well. So let's wait and see what it entails. Thank you so much.
Okay, lawyer Tio, Tio.
Yo, Patrol, mena maybe a question about lady na wabayuka Mashiano no. Na student visa nearby.
Yes.
Now according to her no, or say homoye bibia say or basku by agent or dinanim as sharing your man no castle or bejuha manning school. Right. And I mean me too no who say oh better say Kaoboko school and our registration. But per what she say, you know, I said oh in sister in Adria obeying or beko. You know, so tramua kamwa meaning say wabano obetumia apply me and I just or tramway legal in school. Still now is they gonna raise a lot of concerns to her. Ebia okodio binyuma or the year juma. Ben or bearing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I'm called school now straight away after all the universities have a registration period. As I said, on my university in Sewapa. So I'm called na one G ABR order. So say my card so everything is digital. One anchor report and in the materials ABR Saneno they log into the password and everything. The university will inform the Home Office say one month. So and the Home Office is informed, the Home Office will curtail and they will cancel na now. Now very illegal. So Odi Ubi Nyama Ekoye Juma. Based on your almost to say this great card, it's going to be very difficult. Say Obi Edini Ubi for Nyama Ekoye Juma. So I'm to me this great card. It's going to be difficult because Oko mass employer Ekoma Juma over with him who share Nipana within the Yamani Abano. It's going to be difficult. And I said, I don't phone some poor. So Oko Juma. Over the phone, no, and I would say, one. These are some of the difficulties that will come in the system because I will maybe phone so say me break card or my phone so now me call for Juma. Me for my phone out say if I call to employer say I will my phone so daily. So it's going to be very difficult. My advice is so wait to me uncle school. The uncle school and so and there's any circumstances as a son. possible to obet me switch. Example, say owo krom ha na ne ba ne British obet me switch akọ ne ba ne so. Say oware krom ha na say oberma no British and okọ indefinite obet me switch akọ spouse. That is a possibility, or those are possibilities. But say obet na mo sa there to say the name end to say 2 years ago, very difficult for her to navigate the system. Yes, so that would be my advice. More than to fall within a category. What to me, Ayana Sigma. I would provide. Thank you very much, sir.
Hey, so lawyer, I feel that's it. So maybe I knew be my minja ho. I mean, I do my next week.
Thank you.
Questions no maybe try to do on our comment section. So I feel you okay for now. And lawyer, so maybe I knew all the maybe all the minja na can but maybe I knew all the wise man solicitors.
Okay.
18 to then.
22 Ashwin Street. But Bibi were yeah, we were because some of the two it has to do with circulation. Videos be around obinimo circulated videos all around say what's na UK ha na wedi 14 years obetime application for indefinite leave to remain. Nipa bebre ebisame say hey lawyer yati say utna come have for 20 years obetime indefinite leave application at Nakumhana. The answer is no. Some video no a false video, a fake. Meaning say it is AI generated, and yet proper video. Nobody should consider that. One name Nasa Ukodi Ubiechi Ekoya application based on 14 years. Home Office ever refuse application. Number 2, who address a application form. Number 3, once who address no about the next one is say number 2 once not come up for 20 years. The very arrangement say you wait to come at the room because once not UK here for 20 years, only and the same video now is circulating around set what's not come for 14 years. Wait me application for indefinite no. And you create a intro, don't follow it. How can a person be in the UK for long residence and apply? We share appendix private life. A honor and accept out the requirements and other eligibility to be in the UK and for what period, then for what you can apply. 1. Set we share appendix PL 3.1. It just says Obi will come between 0 to 18 years. As I said, not come out for half of your age, for 7 years. I'm sorry, 0 to 18 years. As so now UK for 7 years. 7 years. 0 to 18 years. 7 years in the UK. Selipana do between 18 to 25 years. That is under appendix PL 4.1. We have PL 3.1. PL 3.1 is 0 to 18 years. So it's equal to 7 years in the UK. Appendix PL 4.1. And here, 18 to 25 years. But now UK for half of your age or half of your life. And to what the 18 now, you have to be in the UK for 9 years. What the 20 years, you have to be in the UK for 10 years. What the 21 years, you have to be in the UK for 10 and a half years. What the 22 years, you have to be in the UK for 11 years. What the 24 years, you have to be in the UK for 12 years. And in peer sign now, we divided by 2. This almost have I lived in the UK for this number of years? If it is yes, then you can apply. That is if you are between 18 to 25. 18 to 25. If not, don't apply, because if you do apply, it will be refused. Then, so over 25 years and above, 20 years in the UK, 20 years long residence in the UK, not 14 years, 20 years. And we application in Swah, Yeah, man, we indefinite. You're about 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, 2.5, a total of 10 years before you get your indefinite leave to remain. So in total is 20 plus 10, that is 30 years before you get your indefinite leave to remain. Not 14 years, not 1-4. Don't make any application based on that false video going around that if you've been in the UK for 14 years, would you seek please don't. If you are not 20 years, do not apply under the long residence rule. If you are 20 years, 25 years and above, do not apply. There is a provision again under Appendix PL 5.1. I say if you've been in the UK for less than 20 years, I agree, less than 20 years, and there is a significant obstacle why you cannot go back to your country to integrate in that country. So maybe you've been here for 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, which is under 20 years, but there is an obstacle. There is a reason, or there are reasons why you cannot go back to settle in your country. Then you can apply. But what reasons can you have? Tell me what reasons you can have why you cannot go back to your country if you've been in the UK for less than 20 years. Very likely to be refused. Very, very likely to be refused. So the threshold is 0 to 18, 7 years in the UK. 18 to 25, half of your age in the UK. 25 and above, 20 years in the UK. Then you can make an application. Then you can get your stay to remain. Don't put yourself in the category of 14 years, which is non-existent. We application now. Would you address better so? Would you telephone number better so? Omba home with your work, omba home telephone number, omba house, one share. Nka, eduma kakra we no, untimi enye bio because the say no, almost the information and they can come after you. My advice is, say, yeah, if you're not 20 years, if you're more than 25 years old, and you're not 20 years in the UK, make your application. I'm going to refuse it. I can tell you for a fact. DJ, thank you so much. K-Lab, I said, my wife got her COS after March 2024. Is it possible to get a dependent visa? We were all on a graduate visa before she got the COS. That's going to be difficult for you. But if it is a COS that falls outside those 4 codes we've been talking about, 6135, 6136, 6145, 6146, if it is a COS that falls outside that code, then yes. But if it is a COS that is within that code, then unfortunately, she cannot have a dependent for you to be on her leave as a dependent. Thank you. Adoje, what will be the difference between this digital ID and the share code? Well, share code is what is generated. You want to ask what will be the difference between digital ID and e-visa. That should be the question. Digital ID and e-visa. I believe it's going to be very similar, or maybe the same thing. Maybe the name will just change to digital ID. Share code is what is generated to prove to employer, or to prove to a landlord, or to prove to a travel agent, or to prove to the DVLA before they can go ahead and process your process your leave or your application, either as a landlord to give you the right to rent, etc., etc., as an employer to give you a job. That is a share code. Share code is what you get from the e-visa to get work, or to travel, or to get a driving license, or to rent a house. That is share code. But if you ask what is the difference between e-visa and digital ID, I would say it will be very similar, very, very similar. But let's wait and see. Desmond Owusu. Farage's proposal does not affect those with pre-existing UK RCS. It's only people with limited leave to remain and new applications. The lawyers need to correct this statement. Thank you, Desmond. Farage says, he will. That is what he said. Even those who have indefinite, he will go and revoke it. That is what he said. You can go back and check his statement as well. He said those who have it, he will retrospectively take it off. That is what he said. But we are always saying that Farage is not the prime minister. Farage hasn't come into office. Farage has not come to, he's not in office. He's not making any rules yet. It is his proposal. So he said even people who have indefinite leave, he would retrospectively curtail it. He didn't say only those who have limited leave. He said, go back and check his statement. I'm sure you'll see the corrections where it is. Thank you very, very, very much.
Okay, lawyer. Yeah, that's a lawyer wisdom account wise man solicitors. And the abegu lawyer mo office location London, Dawson Junction, McDonald's, Print House.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wise Smart Solicitors, Wisdom Akaho, Wise Smart Solicitors. We have other lawyers there. We have lawyer Elvis. We have lawyer Amwa. We have Paula. We have Prishla. We have the other supporting staff. We are all there to support and to help you as best as we can. As best as we can. Your Dalston Junction. Your Dalston Junction. Close to the Dalston Market, behind the McDonald's. That is where we are. That is where we are. The address, Wiseman Solicitors, 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, 8 to 9 The Print House. 8 to 9 The Print House, 18 to 22 Ashwin Street, Dalston Junction, London E8 3DL. London E8 3DL. Telephone number is 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. 0208 0165 384. The mobile number is 079 31 411 042. 079 31 411 042. These are details. Uber Dalston Junction at Bisa for the Ashburn Street, where the McDonald's one. Uber, we are happy to assist. We are happy to help. Thank you very much. Yeah, Kano. These are proposals. They are not law. What Farage is saying is a proposal that when he becomes a prime minister, he's not a prime minister. So I don't think we should make too much fuss out of this. He's not the prime minister. There's no election today or tomorrow. If there was an election and he's the prime minister, fine, but he's not the prime minister. These are his proposals. These are what he's saying. He's not the prime minister, let alone to make any proposal or to go back to retrospectively curtail people's leave. UK laws usually are forward-looking, not backward-looking. It doesn't go back to retrospectively affect people. No. So he is saying something to get political points, but it doesn't mean that. Let's wait and see. With what I know is being said or being put out there, I know which way I will vote. I believe everybody will know what they will do too. So let's all not panic. Let's wait to see how it goes. But it is an indication of how difficult the immigration system is. This is for all of us to regurgitate on. Thank you.
I didn't need a mandatory and the basso.
Oh, sir, near Prime Minister, make candidate. So, no, so I can't. I pay never call Parliament. Say, your friends and Conservatives know and gentum some Labour for no rebellion, now man gentum back and forth. Say, normally, I'm kind of say to see what the public, views will be, public reaction, etc., charities, asylum workers, asylum institutions, all this stuff. They put it out there to test the waters, to seek the response of the people. And then it may go through, it may not go through. Let's wait and see what it is. Thank you very much.
All right. Lawyer, me da say, say na unyamre, oni ebeka say, wabe cheche mu ni eko. Eba ni say ni dia, twen mu say no na mabe cheche mu na ya ti ase. Na ya na obo social media obi aka de ope. Go the abuse inti obawet no wadan no wakika no bia de hu ahye nkofoma ni ade sa Yeah, some lawyer me that so nyam no ne kasa nyame adoma next week be kasa wise man solicitors some numbers now show screens e bu mo ha omo ti be back bi program we number ne da o kama kama be samba back so up. Lawyer me that nyame adoma e be kasa
Yo.
enjoy your weekend. Lawyer with Macaona Mutie straight from Studio B. Wise man solicitors. You didn't come out area. Madam, I some share from DJ Nyame. Opesa oba mi show no so bia wo issue bi wo story bi opesa wo share. Obetimi aba mi show no so ni mo bi opesa share ni experience bi ana ofa bibi mu opesa wo share. Obetimi aba mi show no so bi me ha de me vibe open. Obetimi link up. My numbers there, we share programs so YouTuber, me adoma no so my numbers there they be a good screen so +233 2406778898 and I say +233 244 790 The two numbers so we share YouTuber, we share profile top two numbers now. Ubetimi SAV, ubetimi WhatsApp me. Madam I say mo join a class na nyina no. Madam I say mo share musua de ha de makacha mo say yesua de wa ha ti mo join a class na nyina me mo shout out Francis F, thank you so much. Kennedy D, big shout out to you. Ya gifty me da say Frank Ato Gansa me da say Ato Ado Jeff me da say Abena me da say Desmond Owusu, thank you so much. Caleb me da say Abena me da say Kofi Kufuor, thank you so much for joining. Prince, may that all joining here. Benny, thank you so much. So joining here. Clement, thank you so much. So joining here. Clement Dakun, Udoi Dakun, thank you so much. So joining here. Kiki, thank you so much for joining. Ma, maybe that's a far big up to you, know what I mean? Roddy, is it Roddy Ando? Thank you so much for joining here. Kofi Kufuor, thank you. Class. Gem living in gems. Thank you so much for joining here. We're joining class nene. Peter, thank you so much. So joining Josephine Youngson, me that's so joining and Abena, thank you so much. Charles B and Kuma, thank you so much. Prince, me that's say. Kofi Apia, thank you so much. God's child, thank you so much. Is it DP? DP06, thank you so much for joining. Nyakon Abranoma, thank you so much. May that's so joining your class and Mensa, thank you so much for joining. Kweku Kojo BY. Thank you so much. John Echampong, that's so joining class there. Eric O'Haney, thank you so much. Pa James, big shout out to you. Salome Quaid, big shout out to you. Mama share now SVTV Africa, madam I say. Munko so na mun follow ye umi adomano so ya ya no we mi aso. Se na be ya on me say videos. The videos ni ba no we nya bi ahwe na wa share. Esu ade wa ha. Se me kai opeso ba me show no so a obetimi link up. Me dem ni obedi nkomo. Madam I say some believe in SVTV Africa the updates bremo. Many Aisha bedi nkomo. Me pede ni Germany nkomo. Je na ekoso so Germany. Bedi nkomo unim say wo ma me the US so bremo. Me lawyer aba so di nkomo. Me the updates bremo Canada any ade nti me de me kan say masa kopio broni chroma. Don't claim say oh it be your chrome ukrom your chrome oh na nya ukrom the omo ye no me say sa kofo Mr. T call Nancy or starting mom adwinfi on the catch Europeans no yeah foreigners near aba chrome aliens hey enye nipa different planets on you angry you na ebi musu kodu no mo boni omo kro hey you go get your country Africa paying for no so mo ba tutu nyama ba here there it be correct pa Let me come with you. And as for being watching, big shout out to you. May I say. Anyway, big shout out to Ogbia Macramon. Shamo Kruma. I said, Tua. I'm just saying, Tua.